So here's a fun fact. Joe Burrow was sacked at least once per game for 49 consecutive games. Now that all changed in week 4 versus the Panthers. Panthers could not get to Joe. I know that's crazy to say that, but it also goes to show how much his offensive line has truly failed him, and the front office has failed him to protect Joe throughout his career so far. But again, like I said, game against the Carolina Panthers, they couldn't get to Joe. They tried, they failed, which is saying a lot because when you have that long of a streak, that's not really good to hear. But since that game, right, the last 10 games, Joe Burrow has been sacked every single game at least one time. So that streak is going to continue until for somehow, some way, we see, the front office actually take Joe Burrow's safety seriously, which I don't know if it ever will happen. But anyway, though, that's 7, that's 10, 13, 14, 15, 18, 22, and 25 times in 10 games. 25 times. That is 2.5 sacks per game on average for 10 games. So unless we do something to protect Joe and actually work on this offensive line, Joe's going to be right back at that 49 game streak within technically 49 games is like 3 or 4 seasons, but he'll be still consecutive moving forward unless, again, he can actually go ahead and get some help on that offensive line. And the thing that sucks is the teams that kill us the most are AFC North teams. Ravens, Steelers, Browns, right? So, for example, Pittsburgh had 4 sacks versus us last time we played them. We played them again. They're probably going to get 4 more sacks against us. The Baltimore Ravens had 3 sacks in their second contest versus us. The first contest, they had 3 sacks as well. So that's 6 sacks right there from the Ravens, 3 sacks from the Pittsburgh Steelers. Last time we played the Brownies, they had 3 sacks, and we play them this weekend. They probably will have 3 more sacks versus us. It's just, again, it's a never-ending cycle of Joe Burrow just not getting protected across the board. He's been sacked a total of how many times this year? 33 times this year. Now, it's not as bad as the second year of his career where he actually went to the Super Bowl, ironically enough. But even the Super Bowl year, he got sacked 51 times, which was a career high for him. Still, again, amazing. But, it's still amazing he went to the Super Bowl. Not amazing he got sacked that much. Amazing he went to the Super Bowl. But it just goes to show, this guy isn't getting protected. This guy isn't getting the luxury of stuff that, again, I'm not trying to take a shot here, but Patrick Mahomes gets. Patrick Mahomes this year, his line sucks, and look how good he is. He's awful. But, every year, pretty much, he always has a top 5 offensive line. I think a lot of people do not consider that when it comes to ranking quarterbacks and saying how good quarterbacks are. When you have an offensive line that is putting up this amount of times you're getting sacked, that's a problem. And even then, you see Joe when he plays, he avoids a lot of sacks. He really does. How many times have we seen the 49ers game last year, this game many times, where it looks like he's going to get sacked. He evades 1 guy, evades 2 guys, evades 3 guys, rolls around, throws the ball while he's running around. This is what he does. He avoids taking sacks because he moves around the pocket. That's why when he had the calf strain, it was so dangerous because he couldn't move. He couldn't do the stuff that he's normally really good at, which is maneuvering around and avoiding sacks. If he was a pocket passing quarterback, strictly just pocket passer, meaning he was like Kirk Cousins, I believe it was a 99.4% of the time he's in the pocket. So that means 0.06% of the time he actually leaves the pocket, which is never. Joe is the opposite, which, again, helps out because this line absolutely fails him every single time. So I don't know what Joe Burrow would look like behind a Patrick Mahomes offensive line. I would assume he put up 70 touchdowns and 7,000 yards and potentially maybe even, you know, win 2 Super Bowls in the same year. I don't know how that would happen, but he probably would. He'd be MVP. Oh, wait, no, he wouldn't be MVP. He's a Bengal. You're not going to get MVP if you're a Bengal. They got to just add that, like, for an April Fool's joke, but reality-wise, we know this is actually true no matter what. Just put that in, like, the NFL rules for MVP. You're disqualified if you're a Bengal, because we already know that's true. Like, come on now. We already know if you're a Bengal, you're automatically disqualified. But again, like I said, it's just, it's a sad, very sad streak, which thankfully came to an end, but then since it came to an end, he's been sacked another 20 some odd times. Please, front office. You spent $270 million. Why not protect him? Why not make that your number one, you know, goal is to protect the guy you spent $270 million on? Like, it makes no logical sense to go out there and fail to protect your investment. Like, it makes no sense. You're running your brand new sports car into a brick wall. And then going, whoa, I wonder what happened. Just stupid. It's really just stupid. But who day, boys, who day?